Hey Scorpio, welcome to your November 2019 Rune and Tarot reading, and welcome to my channel, Change Spider Tarot. I am going to talk with you about what I saw in the runes, and then we're going to flip the camera down and take a look at some oracle and some tarot cards to try to get some clarification for you, okay? So your casting was interesting. You only had 4 runes that came up facing up, and those are the ones that I read. So the 4 that came up for you was the money rune, the possessions rune, the death rune, and the fire rune. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of give you the lay of the land since it's so few, and then at the end I'll tell you kind of the message that I got from them, and then we'll see what the tarot has to say about it. Okay. Farthest from you, okay, so farthest from the rune that represents you was the money rune, and in fact you probably saw my hand in there kind of trying to pull it into frame. It was kind of like way far away, and I had to kind of scoot it in a little bit to get it like in frame for the picture. Closest to you was the rune representing possessions, okay, and so this rune could mean a lot of different things, but in this instance I believe that it is of the variety of representing like what you own, so kind of what we would think of as possessions, or what you are. And that what you are really kind of struck me, and you'll see kind of where I go with this in a second. Close to that possessions rune that we just talked about is the death rune. And so in this instance, kind of similar to what it would be in tarot, typically doesn't mean literal death. It typically means some kind of change or transformation, which in this case I believe it does, and I'll get to that in a second. And then on the outskirts of your casting, there's like a C-shaped cluster you might be able to pick out in the picture. And at the kind of the far end of that C-shaped cluster, you'll see the fire rune. And so my interpretation of these 4 runes, the way that they were laid out and that they kind of came out together the way that they did, was that you are going through some kind of major shakeup in your life. So if you're into tarot, like you're having like a tower moment, right? Which a lot of people think of as like a very Scorpio type card. It's Mars. It's like a big change, a big sudden something, right? And then the phoenix rising from the ashes, another kind of very Scorpio type of thing, which was interesting that it just kind of came out this way with the fire and the death and the all that, you know. It's just kind of like screaming to me like phoenix rising from the ashes, and I feel like this is some kind of spiritual transformation or healing that you're going through, and whatever it is, it's like it's pretty intense, and it's like basically consuming your whole life because no other aspects of your life came out right in the reading. And so this was like, this is what's going on for you right now, you know, like you were going through this major shift and transformation, and it's basically consuming you, as these types of shifts and transformations do. I can speak from experience there. What else did I write down here? And then I did want to address the money thing just because it's there, right? And so what I got from that, and we'll see if the tarot brings up anything, what I got from that is that, you know, maybe historically money has been like a priority and a concern for you, but right now it's like, I don't have time to worry about that. I don't have time to deal with that. I'm not going to worry about it. I've got more important things that I'm dealing with, that I'm thinking about, that I'm worrying about, that I'm trying to learn how to do, that I'm working through, whatever, right? So like money is a thing. It is for most people, right? But like, so in your casting, like it's a thing for you, like it's something that you're concerned with, it's something that's important, but it's like almost like you don't have time for it. And it's, you know, like it's there, like way in the back burner type of thing, but you're not letting it become the focus because you are focused on other things. So that's what I got from the rune casting. So now let's flip the camera down and we will take a look at some tarot and some oracle cards and see what they have to say about the situation. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, Scorpio, let's take a look. And we're gonna ground your reading with a magical spell card. I'm gonna read it as an oracle. to try to get an understanding of what the overall energy is to make the transition from the rune reading to this tarot reading that we'll be doing for this transformation that you're going through. So what are the energies surrounding this transformation, this change for Scorpio? What are the energies surrounding this change and transformation for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and rising signs? Creativity, 33. By all above and all below, let me connect, let creativity flow. So this could be, I'm taking a look at my notes from the rune reading. So this change that you're going through may be leading you to doing things in a very different way than you've ever done them before. You may be getting inspiration through this transformation, through this change, whatever this is for you, and we'll get some clarification from the tarot, but whatever this is for you, may open you up in a whole new way to seeing things differently, doing things differently. You know, sometimes when we go through, like for you, I saw it was pretty dramatic what I saw in the runes. It was like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's a pretty dramatic change. And it's an all-consuming type of thing, which, you know, makes sense because we really did only get 4 runes that came out facing up, right? So if this is an all-consuming thing for you, if this is your story, if you're going through some kind of major change, shift, transformation, whatever you want to call it, I think this is like when you come out of that, or maybe you're starting to kind of see some of that now, you're going to experience life and see things and do things, and maybe even the way that you interact with people, you're going to be coming at it from a whole different angle. It's going to be a whole different, it's almost kind of going to be like a whole new world for you, Scorpio. And everything is really going to, like literally, I think everything is going to shift and change for you. And of course, it's going to take you a few minutes. I'm being facetious. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to process all of it, all of the change, and how you, even your perceptions. And you may even find that how you used to judge and react in the past, that you know has gone by the wayside, or you're more able to catch yourself when you do those types of things. I just got that, right? So that might be meaningful for some of you. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool. So let's take a look at some tarot. Let's take a look at some tarot and see what we can see. All right, so for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and rising signs, what clarification, validation can we get for this change and this transformation that Scorpio is going through right now? What can we get for them? Wow. Cards are flying around. What can we get for them? Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and rising signs. All right. The Knight of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, the Justice card. I also saw the Justice card when I was calibrating these before I started the video. Queen of Wands. Yeah, I thought I would see him here. The Hanged Man. And the Queen of Pentacles. All right, you got there's some people kind of mixed into this for you, Scorpio. That or these court cards are representing kind of who you're shifting into, right? So maybe once upon a time, you were approaching life as the Knight of Wands, which is, you know, for me, the Knight of Wands is a fly by the seat of your pants type of energy. You know, you just kind of like, you go forth with gusto without fully thinking through what it is that you are moving toward, but you're doing it kind of full-heartedly. And there may not be a ton of resolve behind what the Knight of Wands does, but regardless, he moves forward with like full gusto, so to speak. And so I'm focused on the court cards right now. I really think this was kind of like you in the past. I think both of these are you in the past, Scorpio. Full of confidence, moved forward, you know, as fire does, right? Fire is kind of like all-consuming. If you think about the element of fire, it's an all-consuming energy. And so you had been proceeding with life, kind of full force, taking what you wanted, doing what you wanted. Some people go through their whole lives and never have that experience. Just so there's no judgment here, right? I'm not judging. I'm just kind of telling you what I'm getting from the cards, which is this was like your MO. This is how you proceeded with life. This is kind of, again, I'm getting this is like pre-transformation energy. This was kind of like you before this big shift happened in your life, and we don't know what that shift was yet. Let's see if we can get that next, okay? But yeah, I mean, even like, and even some sexuality here too. So like maybe you were not all that picky about who you were physically intimate with, right? So maybe you had, you were, you know, very exploratory with your sexuality and very comfortable exploring and maybe playing around and maybe in and out of relationships and that kind of thing. Again, no judgment at all. You know, you were just doing you were doing your thing, and you weren't worrying about repercussions. All right, you were just doing you, which is perfectly fine. And then something changed or threatened your legacy card, a family card, your stability, the empire that you had built. Maybe you had built a business. Maybe you had some money that you were sitting on, or that you've been sitting on, that was either given to you through inheritance or you had earned it, right? Like you busted your ass, you worked really hard, and you were able to kind of create this foundation and stability for yourself. And now you're seeing that very differently. And again, we don't know why yet. I haven't really looked at that. So let's see if we can get that next, like I said. But now that is changing for you. You're seeing this legacy, everything that you've built here, or the thing that you received, if it was something that you received, something has shifted and is causing you to see this in a very different way. Your legacy, your stability, your home environment, your family dynamic, that kind of idea. And now you're much more interested, okay? So like the energy that you're in now, Scorpio, is that you are much more interested in playing it straight, playing it fair, doing things on the up and up, and being much more thoughtful and deliberate and caring and nurturing than you were before. Okay, so this shift that you've gone through, that's pretty serious shift. You know, this is a completely different mindset and dynamic than this, for sure, right? This is someone who worries about what's right, what's wrong, what's fair, what's not. The Knight of Wands does not worry about that. The Queen of Pentacles is incredibly nurturing and caring and giving. She does things carefully, she plans, she gets shit done in a very deliberate and thoughtful way. The Queen of Wands gets shit done too, but it's not necessarily planned and deliberate. And she's not necessarily worrying about how her actions are going to affect other people, but the Queen of Wands definitely worries about that. Okay? So I'm going to scooch these a little bit. And I want to see if we can get some information about, let's see if we can get some information about what was the cause of this change for Scorpio? What was the root? What was the driver? What was the driver behind this change for Scorpio? The Six of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Let me move this over a little bit. So what I got from this is that, Scorpio, I think you found yourself having met someone. So long story short, and I'll look into this a little bit more, but just for validation for you, but I think that this mindset shift, this way of kind of going about doing life, managing your business affairs, managing the way that you view your family and your legacy and all that, it was triggered by a person that you met, someone who was very different and was very different than you. But somehow you were still receptive to them, and they helped you, kind of change your heart energy, if you want to call it that. They helped you shift that. And this card for me, there's definitely soulmate energy here. So in my time with tarot, this card is a signal for me in a lot of instances, not always, but in a lot of instances, that this is like karmic and soulmate. So whoever this person was, Scorpio, that shifted this, and it could be somebody that you met, it could also be somebody that you listened to. Maybe you were listening to a podcast, or maybe you were listening to an audiobook or something. And the author, right? The ideas that the author explored, like, really hit you. Well, that was part of your kind of karmic path. It was what you needed to hear. It was what you needed to kind of open you up to some new possibilities, and to see and start doing things differently, which we clearly got here, right? So I'm going to say that this was a person for you, and it doesn't have to be a physical person you met. It could be like an author, or something like that. Or maybe you went to church and the pastor or the priest, or whatever the case may be, the rabbi, said something. You had never heard it in that way before, but it was like, pow, and that planted the seed, possibly, right? It could be any of those types of things. All right, but the first message I got was that this was somebody that you actually met, but it doesn't have to be, right? I can't possibly be tapped into every single Scorpio on the planet, right? So take the message as it resonates. All right, so before we pull a final animal spirit oracle for you to get some last bit of advice, I do want to take a look at kind of where this is going for you with the tarot first. So where will this change in perspective and change in heart energy and change in the way that Scorpio deals with people and life and, you know, his or her legacy, their finances, their business, their family relationships, all of that. Where is this shift in perspective and way of seeing and being and doing things? Where is this taking them? What does that look like for Scorpio? Sun, moon, and rising signs. What does that look like for them? Where is it taking them? This is a beautiful reading, by the way. Actually, so far, all the water sign readings have been really awesome. Ace of Swords. Yeah, baby. I love the Ace of Swords. Temperance. Yep, yep. And the Seven of Pentacles. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Scorpio, you are moving into a whole new mindset. This is a completely, I mean, maybe even more, I think based on these cards, let me put these down before I scatter them everywhere. I think based on the way these cards came out, you have already started to, you have some understanding and some experience already with this shift. You know, that's my opinion. And if you haven't experienced that, I think you soon will. But for the majority of you, you've already started to kind of see what this person or this author or this, you know, idea has already shifted, and you've already started to kind of see the changes and possibly even the benefits of it. There's more coming, a lot more coming, right? I think this is just the beginning. This shift and transformation for you, this is just the beginning of it, and you are going to be moving into a whole new, more so than you even realize, mindset. You are really going to kind of recalibrate the way that you experience and do things. The way that you interact with people is going to change. The way that you interact with yourself, the way that you treat yourself is going to shift. You know, temperance is also a very healing energy, right? And temperance is always looking to find that balance. Here we are again with the Justice card, you know, and the scales, like always looking to find what is this new version of myself going to look like now? You know, how am I going to find this new way to kind of interact and be and do? I know that I want it. I know that it's the right thing to do now, right? Now, how do I do that? And so for the next, for the next few months, I think, Scorpio, that's what you will be exploring, is how do I now incorporate this new way of seeing and doing and being into my everyday life, especially my work and my family and my interactions with people, and what type of legacy do I want to leave in the world? Absolutely, that's 100% what I'm getting here for the Scorpios that I'm tapped into. You are going to spend the next few months exploring that newness of how you interact. And then I love that the Seven of Pentacles came out here at the end for where you're going, because this ties in beautifully with the Queen of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is really somebody who knows what they're working toward and is still waiting to kind of see the benefits and the I don't want to say the repercussions, it's not the right word, the when we put effort and energy into something, we don't always see the results. That's a good word. We don't always see the results right away. But the seven of Pentacles understands that, is okay with that, and proceeds anyway with continuing in this calibration energy. They may not see the benefits immediately, or the changes or the shifts or the, whatever the case may be for you immediately, but they know that it's coming, right? And they have the patience and the diligence to wait, the same way that the Queen of Pentacles does. The Queen of Pentacles understands that things take time to grow and is comfortable and perfectly happy nurturing things, right? Nurturing things. These are both very nurturing type of energies. And they're willing to do that because they know that the reward in the end will be worth it, right? So that I think is where you're at, Scorpio, which is super awesome. I love it. I love this reading. So let's get you a final card of inspiration from Animal Spirit Oracle. What final message of inspiration can you give to Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs? Yay! Turtle Spirit. Slow and steady wins the race, baby. You bet. Look at that. Queen of Pentacles is like the epitome of slow and steady, and so is the Seven of Pentacles energy. So Spirit is really validating for you here, Scorpio, that stay the course. You've tapped in to the right thing. You've tapped into the right energy. You've tapped into the right mindset. It's all still new. You're still learning how to kind of recalibrate, right? You're in the process of recalibrating. That's your phoenix rising from the ashes and your transformation. You're recalibrating literally, I think, your whole life. Slow and steady. Channel your Queen of Pentacles energy. Slow and steady. That's really a beautiful message. I love that. I don't really know that I need to say much more because we explored this idea of kind of staying with the course and knowing that the result will come, right? That's what Turtle Spirit is suggesting for you here. So it's a reinforcement and a validation for both of us that the tarot told us what we needed to know and what we needed to hear at this particular point in time. So I hope that you found that helpful, Scorpio, and good luck with everything. I think this is beautiful. I'm super excited for you. All right, take care.